A little bit about what ReceiptChain is, try and clear away some of the confusion. So a lot of people ask me, can it do this? Does it do this? Is it good for my industry? And well, what ReceiptChain is at its core is an ownership tracking platform that helps people figure out who owns what, basically, like what belongs to who. That's the core center of what it does. So if you were to extrapolate from that into other products and what you can build on a platform like that, then you get to shipping, then you get to logistics, then you get to marketplaces. And so that stuff is all possible to do on the platform, but you need to build extra tools, and we're building a lot of those tools. We're building a marketplace. That's our first product basically on the platform, and then the next product after that will be shipping products, and then auditing, and those are all things that kind of stem off from the core product, the core technology, which is the evolution, the revolution, that's new. The new piece of technology here is the ability to say that Tom owns this pair of shoes, and what makes us believe that Tom owns those pair of shoes is because he has the access keys that allow him to edit the data for those shoes, or the representation, the blockchain digital representation of those shoes, and that digital representation is linked to the original creator of those shoes. And so these are the new concepts that ReceiptChain is birthing into the world. And then using these are the things that people should be trying to wrap their heads around. It's like Bitcoin. In Bitcoin, you own your Bitcoin because you're the only one who can spend your Bitcoin. Right, so you own this guitar because you're the only one who can send this guitar to somebody else. You're the only one who can edit the data about this guitar. Or more accurately, you're the one who owns that particular data for whatever it represents. So yeah, the guitar itself isn't linked strongly to this digital data yet. We're trying to build those bonds by getting the manufacturers involved. By creating a good metadata that has a really strong link to the actual guitar, its serial numbers, pictures, its evidence of that guitar. But most importantly, that you can trace back this guitar back to some origin point where somebody created it and created this file first, the first person who created this file about this guitar, and hopefully it's a manufacturer, and that gives it validity. And so you look back at these long chains and you say, well, this chain's older than this one, and this chain, you can prove that one person or one identity is more genuine than another identity because only certain keys can create certain data. So you can say that Ibanez used their private keys to create an Ibanez file, so that Ibanez guitar file is the thing that you can prove about that guitar. So this is one of the bonds you're trying to enforce, and say that this is one of the reasons why this file Ibanez creates. Say they create 100,000 guitar files. If you end up with a guitar and Ibanez says Ibanez on it, but you don't have one of these 100,000 Ibanez files, and those Ibanez files are harder to fake than the guitar, right? Because you can't fake, like faking Bitcoin, right? Nobody's figured out how to fake Bitcoin, right? Aside from like a 51% attack, nobody's figured out how to fake Bitcoin. So that's the thing. That's the new thing here, is nobody's figured out how to fake these guitar files. So this is the authenticity part. We have a new, stronger piece of technology than saying this Ibanez guitar is the real guitar because it looks like a real. It's harder to fake these files, these digital files, than it is to fake that actual guitar, and that's the new evolution that's happening here. So if you don't have one of those 100,000 Ibanez guitar files, then it's harder for you to say that this is a real Ibanez guitar, because you should have ended up with that file. You should have ended up with that proof, that authenticity digital certificate should at some point be signed over to you. If the person if in this chain of deals that how this guitar ended up in your hands, if that file was lost somewhere along the line, why? Why wasn't that chain? Why wasn't that file sent from the first owner to the second owner to the third? And that's what this software is helping people do. That's what ReceiptChain is core. That's the core technology of ReceiptChain. And so when you when you use the app, you look at a bottle of wine or something, and this bottle of wine here has two previous owners. This is my owner address, and this is the owner before it. This was the person who gave me this bottle of wine. So yeah, I kind of have some crappy data in there right now. But this is an example. So you have your owner history, and you would have a long chain of owners here, and some of them will be known owners. Like some of them will be the first owner should be the address of that wine manufacturer, and nobody else except that wine manufacturer could fake this address right here. This address is part of the blockchain technology. So so you won't see an address on there unless that owner or that company or the entity created this original file. So that's the thing that's nearly impossible to fake. It's very difficult, and that's what we're using blockchain technology for. And so this software is helping people. This software, the ReceiptChain software, is designed to help people use this technology, so that if I wanted to send this bottle of wine, I would go to Item, Send, click the bottle of wine, scan the person's QR code, right? This is simulator, so there's no scanner. Scan the person's QR code, and then I would send it to them. And then what would happen on the blockchain is now that person is the only person who can edit the data about that item. So if it's still public, if this is still a public property, then anybody could scan this QR code for this bottle of wine. But only the person who, since I own this bottle of wine right here, this is a different bottle of wine actually, that's why the picture is different, but only the person who's the current owner of this bottle of wine can edit this bottle of wine. And the reason for that is because it's actually built into the smart contract. It's built into the ERC 721 smart contract rules, and that's ERC 721, that's a smart contract standard like ERC 20s, which is what all these companies are doing the ICOs on. This is built on a very similar strong security implementation of some code that's on the blockchain that allows people to own not just quantities of a token, but individual unique items. So the security of who owns this wine is built into the blockchain. That's I was wondering what my time is. Insists the in-store sort of ERP inventory management system to come along, and while you're in your store, you can pick an item and then you can sell it to your customer right in the store by sending this item by hitting scan QR code. You scan their QR code for their with their app, and then your store, who owns all this stuff right here, you put in the final price, and then you send that from the desktop, and then it will end up in the customer's inventory. And so then now they are the new owner of that thing, and then they can look back in its history, and if they're registered with our company, we can actually replace the logo, this code with the logo, so it's easier for people to recognize, authentic producers. And they look at this, the item that they purchased, and they go, oh, look, it was made by Chateau Margaux, or Nike. And so these tools are all open and available right now. You can go check them out. Go to the website. Please do, and you can start using it today. Thank you very much.